Hi, I want to welcome Pavel here. And I know Pavel from quite a long time ago. I'm not going to tell you why and when. And Pavel has a very interesting story of moving from corporate executive to an entrepreneur and business owner, like spreading into different countries. And I want to talk about his story. And now, Pavel, to you, please tell us something about yourself and about your journey.
Yeah, thank you, Daria, for inviting me for this conversation. Um, I'm just a little bit apologize for my English, but from my point of view, the most important not just with the language, but also about the story and what is behind of me. So yeah, we met with Daria a lot of times ago when I was in telecommunication business. But from my point of view, maybe it's will be more interesting if we'll start even earlier. You know, I became an entrepreneur at the age of 16, sorry, at that time of admission of the first year of university. So it was my like first first year in university. So I opened my first company, if you can talk like this. It was cafe in my hometown, in my home city. And when so after that, so I just devoted myself to studying. In the last 3 4 years, I just was fully in studying. And after graduation, I moved to Moscow because I mean my hometown it's a Belgrade. It's on the border of Ukraine. So I moved to Moscow just to find, I would say, my dream work, my dream company. Yeah. So this is how I started. I mean, that even from 16, I already was in the business. And the first year of my business, I changed 3 different businesses, and I just trying to make at the same time after school business and graduation in first year of university. This
That's
is
amazing.
the
I didn't
story.
know that about you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
So that's why like entrepreneurship, it's just in my heart, in my soul from beginning. Yeah. So in Moscow, I worked in a company like a sales manager in IT company, and gradually I grew up, become the head of some department. And at one moment, I just started to be like a top manager in telecommunication company. I worked like 12 years in telecommunication company. Yes, but at the same time, I just always wanted to be an entrepreneur. It, as I told you before, it just was the part of me. And it's really important from my point of view that when I was just on corporate in big companies, I also how to say my relations to my job was like entrepreneur. I mean, it. I mean, just I just feeling this is just not just job. I'm just every time trying to do the best because I mean um, it cannot be um, like I know that a lot of people just working like from 8, I don't know, to 6, and that's it. Maybe even they don't love their job. From my point of view, it's not the right situation. And if you just don't fully involve in the process, don't fully involve in what you're doing, you just destroying not the company, you're destroying yourself. So just trying to be from beginning. I mean, my relations to the companies was like entrepreneur, you know.
Hmm.
And one day when I was just on vacation, it was a long vacation. It was a vacation to the easternmost part of Russia, the Bering Islands. It's just in the border with USA, Alaska. When I just was in the sea, like 2 days, I decided that it's time to start my own business. Yeah, it was a really difficult decision because, of course, I mean, when you're a top manager, you have a good salary, you have a car, you have big team, and etc., etc. So it's really hard to make a decision. And especially at that moment, I have already a family, and my wife delivered the first son. We waited him like 7 years, and was really happy. Um, so I mean, maybe even moreover, I think maybe the first son was like a trigger for me just to make a final decision. At that moment, I decided that it's a time, maybe the only time when I can just change my career, uh, just to cancel it and to start my new life, my new career. And it was a really difficult decision. A lot of people after that just asking me how you make this decision, because I mean, if you on a good position in corporate, it's absolutely impossible just to change. Maybe just the guys who is working in Big Four like McKinsey and BCG, maybe they uh, when they just becoming to be a partner after several years, they can be a part of some big companies. But usually, commonly, it's really difficult to make this decision. Most of entrepreneur, which I'm talking about, like how you start your business, mostly of them started like from beginning. I don't know, from I don't know 20 years, not just to changing the corporate life to entrepreneurship. So this is how I start. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that's so interesting. And
Yeah.
I agree with you. When you say it's hard to start your business, like for me personally, like I was a executive level in the company, but like the movement, like my transition from Russia to Israel actually forced me to start it as a business and start doing something. I don't know if I would have had courage to do that on my own without that external push. So I mean, that's great that you had that courage to do that, to make this decision.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you started with a cafe and now you have again, it's a business of providing service, giving people fun. Just tell us about your business. What is it you're doing?
Yeah. So I'm the founder of Family Entertainment Centers. In Russia, the brand is Zamania. We have 20 family centers. Each of them, it's like from 2 to 3,000 square meters. We rent location space in the malls and making big playgrounds, activity playground for the kids. They age like from 1 to 10, and also the family restaurant inside. So the main difference between us and just standard family entertainment centers in Europe, in US, in other countries, that we really caring about parents. We're making a good cafe or good restaurant inside, and it's really, I would say, comfortable place for the parents, because usually when you just come into family centers, I mean, you are like a parent, you're like adult, you don't know what to do. I mean, you need to stand or you need to wait, so it's really uncomfortable. And when you're just making decision, uh, just to back to this family center or maybe to another one, of course, you just will decide not only because if it's interesting for the kids, but also if it's comfortable for you. So this is the main difference. And yeah, I started this business like almost 10 years ago. Um, and frankly speaking, I just built up the business in first 4 years. And after that, 6 years was quite difficult. Yeah. No, I mean, of course, about last 5 years. It was pandemic, was start of war, and etc. I mean, it's a lot of things which quite strong influence for my business. Yeah. But generally, it's as you told before, it's a service business. We need to think about our guests every day because every year almost maybe 2 million guests is coming to our chain, and we making like 40,000 birthdays in our chain per year. Now it's even more because we have also family centers in UAE. I will tell you a little bit later about this part of business. So this is what we have, and also we have a big, how to say, kitchen. It's like 1,500, like a small factory, 1,500 square meters, and we started to make cakes for just for the birthdays, and now we also produce for retail, like desserts.
Hmm,
Um, every day we send maybe 6 to 10,000 desserts to retailers. So this is like business in business, inside. Yeah,
that's
this is
great.
this is it. Yeah.
What helps you keep moving? I know it's challenging. I mean, again, yes, these were challenging years for everyone, for many people. What helps you keep moving?
Oh, it's really interesting and difficult question. Because I mean, in 2020, at the one moment, we just stopped the business like for 4 months, almost, and we just need to file like 1,000 people at just almost like one day. And in 4 months after that, we just need to hire this 1,000 people again. So it was really difficult because I mean, inside of me, I just made a decision that I'm bankruptcy, and it's just impossible to continue after that. So and after that, just all steps I'm doing just how to say to improve my business to start like a new business. So first like 5 6 months it was like based on internal resources of my body, of my health. I mean, of based on adrenaline, and of course, I mean, I just worked like 24 hours and just trying to do something just to save my company. And at that moment, I also hired a couple of new top managers and a new CEO. And in the end of 2020, when I just understood that I don't have any resources inside, I mean, just at that moment, I just feeling like I don't know how to tell it. I just laid on sofa like days and days because I just didn't have any resources inside. And like my new team at that moment already started to support me because we, how to say, reopened our family centers and we just started the business. And the best involved for me, the best energy for me was like first revenue and first margin when it started again. But generally, I mean, if you're talking about like resources, energy, it's of course my family, it's sport, hiking, and I also work a lot with coach. It was like first moment when I started to work with coach, and he's also helped me at that moment. So was just like internal resources, how not to die. I mean, at that moment. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was a really difficult period. But what I'm thinking right now that only because I had this period, I have also the ability for myself to how say to increase like an entrepreneur. I mean, even if it will be I don't know new business, I'm changed really much, and now I'm strong. And you cannot to increase personally and the business if you don't have such kind of difficulties like on your way. It's impossible. Only if you have big difficulties, and you just have just the power to solve it. Only in this case you can change like yourself. It's my opinion, and of course it's helped me in the future. Yeah.
I wish there were an easier way.
Uh, it's impossible to find an easy way when we're talking about entrepreneurship. I mean, if you don't have problems, so you don't have business.
Yes,
In any
interesting.
case, if you have big goals, you will have, in any case, big issues, big problems on your way. It just the question is how you just relate to these issues, to this problem. Uh, Now, I absolutely understand that when we just come to new country, to new business, I absolutely understand that it will be a lot of issues, but I'm ready to this. I just understand. I mean, I don't have any, how to say, mirage that it will be like paradise. It will be not issue because it's a different country. No, 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 no. Of course, it will be a lot of issues, and I just have a power to solve it. That's it.
Cool. So yeah, tell us about the new countries and how you expanding your business to other countries, other cultures. How is it going?
Yeah, I always just wanted an international company. Um I studied the US market in 2019 and opened a company there, opening accounts. I found an investors and we sent money, transfer money to US. And I spent some money for analysis of the market. So, I mean, I spent a lot of time there. And it was the end of 19. And if you remember, in 2020 begin, so it started pandemic. So we just closed all my accounts and the company. At that moment, I just sent money back to investors. But it was like ambitions in any case to start the business like international business. Um, and after start the war, not too many countries where I can just start the business, And I decided that the best country for me will be Arab Emirates, and just I went to this country to start the business there. Uh, and every time when I just start in like a new country, I hearing the same questions from anybody. Just I don't believe that in this country you don't have like competitors. They don't have like family centers, especially if you're talking about like US, especially if you're talking about Dubai. How it's possible? I mean, Dubai is like it's like the, let's say, the center of all entertainment just in this part of world. So, but what we doing, I mean, our family centers, it's totally different because we just working mostly with the locals. I mean, with the people who is living there, not just for tourists, And uh, it's like a restaurant or banks. In any case, when you just start in a new business, I don't know, new hotel or new restaurant, of course, it's a lot of hotels and restaurants worldwide. So the question is what you're doing differently and why the guest is coming to you. So in like 3 years ago, I started the business in Dubai, and at that moment, I mean, now we have three family centers, three family entertainment centers, two in Dubai and one in Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi, we just opened 3 weeks ago, the third one.
Oh,
And yeah, in 2 months, maybe even less, we will open the number four. And we also signed and starting design for two new projects in Dubai. And we also under signing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain. So for me, this is how to say my goal for nearest years to open like 20 plus projects on this market. And as I told, it's a lot of issues there. It's a new country. I mean, it's a different religion, different everything. I mean, when you just trying to how say even just to make an approval it's dozens and dozens approvals on this market, not like in Russia we have. And you can be, I mean, the restaurant or, for example, family entertainment center can be ready fully, like for 100%, but you cannot to open it without like additional approval, and you can just wait 1 or 2 months. You're paying salary, you're paying everything, rent, etc. But you cannot to open. But generally, it's a really good market, and just understand that um, you know what is return of investment, yeah.
Mhm.
So I have like my own return of investment for year of my life. So and based on this formula, like return of investments for the year of my life, just understand that if I will spend my own resources on this market right now, it will be more effective for me. And generally, when we're talking about business, the capitalization, the revenue margin is much more bigger than in Russia. So this is just I decided to continue to work there. But I have also the dream, as I told before, to start on US market, and we already, let's say, started new analysis. We already made
Mhm.
it like 2 months ago, and we on the like starting process for US market also.
I'm sure you'll make it. I mean, I have no doubts you'll make it.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
very interesting the way you say it, like the return on investment, not just on money, but your personal time, your personal energy, your personal effort. So that also comes in. That's a cost. I mean, that's a cost of running your business.
yeah. We just every time need to compare where's a better place for life, for the business, and etc. And we decided with my family that this is the best time and the best place for now. Maybe in the future it will change. I don't know. But nearest couple of several years we'll be there. And yeah, family is also happy just because it's also quite interesting because I mean you are uh, in your country, so it's a lot of different mentality. It's not just one mentality of Arabic. It's a dozens of nationalities there. For example, in my uh, boys, I mean Yelisei classroom, they have 20 kids, 25 kids, so and 20 nationalities. So you just you just trying to understand at least all these nationalities. It's quite interesting cultures. So you're just trying to be involved in this process, and it's quite interesting for the kids also, and for my wife.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Cool.
this is an international.
Yeah, well, that's really an amazing job you're doing. Um, I've been following you and your business, I mean, since the beginning.
Mhm.
And I've seen your posts and how you write about the culture, how you talk about culture, how you talk about people, and building this family centers not as a kind of business of earning money, but kind of providing this happiness for people and employees. Tell us about the culture you're building.
Uh, you know, the more I thinking about this, the more I understand that it's really difficult things to make a culture, and but it's really how to say uh, really needed for the business. So the first person I hired in Russia was an HR manager, and she later became a chief and operation officer. But I mean, she helped me create the company's culture. Um, and from my point of view, it was the right decision from beginning. Um, because I mean, what you're talking with your team, how you do this, how often, and etc. It's really important. And company culture is just is the attitude of the founders towards his business, people, clients, and it's his principles, his goals, and his connection with the team, and it's on daily basis. And the company's culture can be and even will definitely change during the company growing, during the company changing. Because when you started, it was like a family. After that, maybe I don't know, sport team. So it's growing, and then more people is in the company. Then how say you need to spend more time for this, because from the beginning you just can't talk with the team. It's just 20, 30 people. You see them every day, and they knew about you everything, and you know about them everything. But if you have the 1,000, it's quite difficult, I would say, to be in touch with them just every day. To tell them about your principles, about your goals, and etc. So you need to spend more time for this. And I can say that it was completely, my company, my culture was completely destroyed in our country after COVID, in Russia. What happens? First, it was like COVID, and I just fired a lot of people. And second, the new CEO came, and he hired also like own top managers, and it was like at the same time you just crashed your company, you fired everybody, and you hired the new team, and at that moment it started like a new company, new culture. And in just a couple of years I understood that it's it's not my company, it's not my culture, and if it just will I would say continue to work like this, I just will lose my company at all. So of course, I tried to change everything, and now it's really difficult time because I just trying to broke this, how to say, um, not my culture. The principles which was made just these top managers from outside. And trying to explain again what we are doing, and why we're doing this, and etc. And as I told you, it's on daily basis. You just need to spend a lot of time for this. But if you have really good and strong culture, like in some saying, the culture can eat the strategy.
Mhm.
It's really important, because the company can change, can make a pivot. Now your family entertainment center, tomorrow I don't know, your hotel or restaurants. But if you have a strong team, so you can just change. And it's interesting that right now I have two different companies, like in Russia and in Emirates, and they don't have any connections. Yeah. They even don't share any any experience right now, and it's even different culture. And the company I start in YE right now, for me it's easy from culture point of view to change. All team, all guys is just new one, and when they just come in, I explain to them what I'm expecting from them and from the company, and what is our goal, and what we are doing, and etc. So I don't need just to break, I just need to create. And in Russia, I just need first to break and then to create. So it's quite difficult.
That's so important lesson for everyone who's hearing that. Just building
Yeah,
from start and paying attention to culture so that you don't have to change it afterwards. Because otherwise something will happen, some culture will emerge. If you don't create this culture you want, some culture will emerge and you don't know whether you like it or not.
yeah. And of course, in any case, you need to control. So based on my own experience, if you just, let's say, if you provide a lot of abilities for the top managers, they can change your company. And it will be not your company, you know. So in any case, you need to control. You need to be a leader. You need to be a main person in any case, because I mean, it's your company.
So you mentioned principles. Like, do you want to share what are your principles? What are your leadership principles, life principles?
Yeah, you know, as I told you from beginning, I just hired the HR manager, and she asked me like every year, let's write like the mission and etc. And every time the answer from my side was just I'm not ready. I don't just to make a mission because everybody do this. But I mean, in 3 years, just understood that it's a time. I just need to write what I'm thinking about, what we are doing, and why. That's it. I mean, it was just quite common. It's so I wrote it down, and we started to work using this mission and using the principles. So and I just write it down like a memorandum. What is the principles? And I made the website like my surname .ru, and every employee just who is coming to our company need to understand what is the principles, what is the missions, and etc. So and also in welcome books we wrote all these things just because I mean if you at least will not tell to your employee why you're working for what. I mean, it's not only money. They will not just will not understand it. They will not close to you, to your goals, to your mission. So yeah, that's it. So I mean, once again, it's a daily basis work. You need just to think because if, especially when you're talking about service, the people is how to say it's a big rotation in restaurants and hospitality business. It's a big rotation, so you need to spend a lot of time daily basis, at least to explain to new employee what you're doing and why. Yeah. Because I mean, if it's just money, it's work. Maybe I don't know, 6 months, 12 months. I mean, some period, but it cannot motivate you to work like a long time, especially if you need to work like not just 8 hours, but I mean, if you just want that employee will provide a really great service. If you expect that they will think about your company, about your like mission, about your culture, like every time. So in this case, of course, you need to spend also a lot of energy for them.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
That's
don't know
so
if this.
interesting. Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I always love hearing about like leaders talking about building cultures because it's still a question. Okay, is it HR? They need to do the culture. I'm not involved in building the culture, or I don't need to build the culture because it's something. I mean, how can we calculate that? What's the ROI on culture?
Yeah,
But
I
when you,
also made the
yeah,
mistakes like this. I thought like, yeah, I just need to hire the HR and he'll just cover all these questions. No, it's not working like this. And generally, everybody, I mean, top managers, just managers, entrepreneurs, like it looks like everybody understand what is it. And the only question is just this is a really difficult job and you need to do it right now. That's it. I mean, you cannot delegate this. This is maybe the most expensive lesson I learned from last several years. You cannot delegate the culture creating. It's just by owner, you know. Of course, I mean the right HR manager, I mean partners, of course they will help you. They know how to do maybe it's better, how to provide this to employee, to staff, and etc. But as you can see, when we're talking about real big companies, they started only based on, how say, energy of the founder, on based on his culture, based on his dreams and etc. So, and we just need, how say, to show to every employee on daily basis these thoughts, this like mission, these dreams of the founder, and this will help to the companies like growing on daily basis.
Love it.
Yeah.
My final question is, I mean, the world is changing. Like we see that the generations are changing, the way of working is changing, everything is kind of in constant transition. What do you think? How do organizations need to change to be ready for the future work?
Mm-hmm. Um, of course, now everybody talking about AI, and you need to use this, otherwise you'll die in several years. Like a company, I mean, like a business, you need to use all new instruments, and it will be, I don't know, in 10 years, in 20, in 50 years, every time it will be new instruments, and you just need to use this. But I mean, what you cannot to change in any case, it's just as we discussed before, your like mission, your dream, your culture. So you cannot just to change this. I mean, you just need to create this and just to support the growing of these thoughts, this dream, and etc. So and globally we can see a lot of changes, yeah, like in logistic, in like um, in the relations between countries, and it's, I mean, it's normal. I mean, it will be changed like in centuries. So you just need to be adaptive, yeah. uh, Generally entrepreneurs is the most adaptive person, because otherwise you will just die. uh, So something in you and in your company, it's like let's see, the heart of your business. You will not change, like, I don't know, culture, mission, I don't know, some relations to guests and etc. But if you're talking about like instruments, of course it will change, and you need to be just in beginning of these changes. And I mean, right now, for example, we're using this like for design. I mean, for creating new projects. We're using this for creating dishes. We started to use this to discuss, to work with our guests. I mean, to discuss with our guests to make a birthday. So, I mean, of course, we're trying to use the AI instrument in any part of our business. But generally, what we will not change its relations inside and relations with our guests. I mean, we need just to save, let's say, the right relations with them, because everyone, I mean, you, me, just everyone, when we just come into like restaurant, to the hotel, of course, we would like to see the brilliant service. We just want, how to say, to care about us, and this is cannot be changed by AI. It's just relations between people.
Yeah.
If you just care about, I mean, your friends, about your family, of course, you're feeling, how to say, the feedback. So this is the same.
Mhm. So stick to a mission, build relationship, and be adaptive with the tools, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm usually when we just when I making an interview, I'm quite energy, but it's maybe first interview in English, and
But
I
it's
would,
amazing. I love your story. The story is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
yeah, thank you.
Is there anything I haven't asked you, like anything else you want to say or share?
Uh, Maybe a couple of lessons which I just personally learned. So I just can share. First, if you if you made a decision to change your life, you need to change your life. Please don't wait it. Otherwise, I mean, you will just lose the right time. Second, um, when you just start your business, you need to start from from first team, and you need to spend a lot of time for this first employee, and this is your partner. I mean, because if you invest a lot of time and the right time for them, these guys will be with you like for years, I don't know, 10, 20 years. And this is the team who will help you in any case. The third number, it's about brand, just the lesson about brand. You just, it's like your reputation. You spending a lot of time and just for your reputation, and after that, your reputation is working for you, yeah? So, and the same with brand. You invest a lot of money, I don't know, everything to the brand, and in years, the brand starting to work for you. And for example about reputation, I started the business in UAE, and I didn't invest any $1 from my personal side. It's based only my relations, and investors just believe to me, and they invested to me. For today, it's like $20 million, and it will be more and more, only because I have a reputation, the person who can make a business, will return money back, and etc. So it's really important, and I think not everybody do understand this, and this is not only about entrepreneurs, because my first investor was the CEO of our company. It means that I started to make my reputation when I was like a manager, just simple manager in on corporate. I think it's quite important.
Thanks. Thanks. These are very important lessons.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pavel. It's an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. Well, thank you for having, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you, Daria.